What's good, YouTube? My name is Alex, and this is True to Football and True to You. This week I'm gonna bring you guys my Week 14 2013 NFL season preview video. Last week I finished 10-6. That's terrible in my opinion. Total now 120 to 71. Terrible. And if you look at the games that really surprised me last week, especially the Monday Nighter, I expected New Orleans to win that one, but it didn't have a chance. It was crazy, turning it over, too often, too early. The Seattle Seahawks were just able to control that game. I don't blame it on the home field advantage. I really can't explain that to me. It really surprised me. Also, I'm surprised how this Cleveland defense played over the last few weeks. They really have had a letdown. Cleveland allowed 32 points on Jacksonville. I was surprised by the outcome of that game. And never trust the Jets again. Damn, they're just terrible. And I expected Arizona actually to come out in the clutch, but Philadelphia was better. And for the Chicago game, just bad decision making. If you look at when to kick a field goal and some things went wrong. Let's make sure these things go right. This week, Thursday Night Football, Texans against Jaguars. I believe the Texans were actually the worst team in the league right now. If you also watch my team power rankings. They have the worst record, 2-10, but I believe they will win this rematch on the road in Jacksonville because I believe the Jaguars will, they will come into this game with some confidence, also having home field advantage. But I don't think this Texans defense will play bad against this Jaguars offense. I believe the Texans will slow down them and the Texans offense actually can score. We saw how Ben Tate against a not so good running defense can do some damage, and I believe that gave them something. We gotta run the ball, we gotta try some things out, and the Jaguars ain't that good. I believe the Texans will get their offense this week on the road against the Jaguars, and still the Texans defense hasn't allowed too much. They just haven't been clutch and bad on turnovers and so on. The Texans just have to execute their game plan, I believe, this week, and they have a pretty good chance in winning that one, even though they're actually the underdog against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man. But, the Jaguars, they don't have too many weapons on offense, and I believe, MJD will be taken out of the game pretty much. Like, you can game plan for him, and I think it will be a low-scoring game, and the Texans will come out on top. That's just my prediction for the Thursday Night Football game. Bills against Buccaneers. Two teams with a losing record. Buccaneers have been pretty good though over the last 2 weeks, but again, this week you look at the Bills team. Their defense can get turnovers, their offense can run the ball. This team is a balanced team. They're just inconsistent, especially if it's about quarterback play. Same goes for the Buccaneers, inconsistent quarterback play. I believe Mike Lennon will struggle against this Bills defense, and if the Bills can stop the running game and force the Buccaneers to do what the Bills want to do on defense, kind of dictate the game, Bills should have an easy matchup in this one. But I believe it will be a close game though. Whoever wins the turnover battle on this one, I believe, should win this game, and I trust the Bills in that one on the road to make key plays in the final moments of the game. I think they will come out on top. They will win. And I also believe they have way more talent on offense, so you can trust the score when it matters the most. I think they can key on Vincent Jackson. Stephen Gilmore's a good cornerback. I think they will be able to do a good job, execute their game plan against the Buccaneers. Chiefs against Redskins. You look at the Redskins, and they're out of the playoff race. The Chiefs, obviously, 3-game losing streak. They have to get things straight. Their defense is hurt. Yeah, Hali, the key. They got Houston, Hali, and Derek Johnson. That's 3 outstanding linebackers. Now 2 are gone. That really hurts them a lot because something you can't overcome in a second or so. It's tough, but this Redskins defense played under their potential, so the Chiefs defense is still obviously in direct comparison is better. But I believe still the Chiefs can do a good job containing RG3, getting to the quarterback. Against the Redskins you have to send pressure. RG3 is not on point this year. He's not trusting his knee. Probably, I tried to explain it in an earlier video. It's crazy how the Redskins play these games this year. And the Chiefs, in the end, they have something to play for. They still can win that division, and they definitely would make a wild card spot. But they still have a lot to play for, and the Chiefs are still a very consistent team. And I believe this game will be a lot closer than what people think. But still, you gotta put your confident points on the Chiefs because they have a more talented team overall, and they have something to play for. And we're entering the fourth quarter of the season, and normally, you gotta watch out for teams that have nothing to play for, but that's in the end, like the Chiefs were able to beat the Packers, when the Packers were unbeaten, and the Chiefs somehow were able to come through. Crazy things can happen, and the Redskins have home field advantage, but still I trust the Chiefs to execute and just being the better team. We got a lot of tough matchups this week, but oftentimes you gotta go with what has the team right now for matchups. Can they gain something from what they had last week? Can they build on something? And I believe the Chiefs will actually have a recovery week, facing actually a easy opponent, you have to say, and they will see, it's still easy. We still can win ball games. I think they will do it this week. Way too long talked about that one. Falcons against Packers should be an easy one because the Packers ground game will destroy the Falcons, especially the Packers playing at home. That's really a big advantage for the Packers here. Eddie Lacy, James Starks, you got two good running backs there. The Falcons also got a running back that finally scored again last week, but still, Packers do a good job defending the run for the most part. If they can force, Matt Ryan to go to the air again, he returned it over. Packers previously did a good job on turnovers. They're not that super great defense, but the Falcons are just a terrible defense, and you gotta look for the Packers to have an easy job. The quarterback, he will have confidence. The running game will get going. They will just be balanced, and the Packers offense should win this one at home and finally bounce back, since they've been on a losing and tie streak over the last few weeks. Lions against Eagles. You look at the game where the Lions have just more firepower on offense. You trust, in my opinion, I trust Reggie Bush and Megatron a lot more than I trust these Eagles, because it's still about the quarterback play, and the Lions are always, he will throw it to Megatron anyway. They're on the same page. They know how to score. It's just about turnovers. And whenever you see the Lions turn it over, that's not a good thing. Sometimes it's better for Lions to turn it over early because they can bounce back still. But these Lions have to avoid turnovers. Reggie Bush has to hold on to the ball. McCoy has done a good job over the, let's say, last period of time. He had struggles with it before over the last few years, obviously. Still, you have a tough matchups. Two high-power offense and two, average defenses with not so good secondaries. So you think this will be an even matchup? Yeah, that could be true. Also, you look at the record, both 7-5. So it will an open shutout, I believe. You expect the over here in this one. A lot of points should be scored. And I trust the Lions actually more. I believe they can win the division definitely, and they will take advantage of that, since the Eagles, they're not that good, you can force them into mistakes, and I believe the Lions will have a better offense this week, and I just think they won't turn it over against the Eagles. That's just my opinion. They will stay almost turnover free this week. Dolphins against the Steelers. Steelers have home field advantage, and the Steelers have been on a good ride, winning streak, and I still believe the Dolphins ain't that good. The Jets are just terrible. If you look at what they did last week, it's just, oh man, is this an NFL team? I was saying, really, what did they just see, and all that stuff. You were very disappointed by the Jets last week. Everyone could have won against the Jets. So you got to look at what the Steelers can do. Yes, they can score on offense, but they have to make sure Big Ben has the time in the pocket. Against the Dolphins. Dolphins bring pass rush. Dolphins can bring pressure. Dolphins have a overall pretty good defense. So you gotta make sure you take advantage of what you get, not turn the ball over. That's key for the Steelers this week. I believe it will be a very close game. Don't put too many confident points on them. The Dolphins actually favored, I believe, but Steelers should be the better team in my opinion right now. If you look at matchups like with Mike Wallace, how was he able to get that open last week? The Jets didn't play a good ball game. If you now look at Ike Taylor, the Steelers will give the Dolphins a tougher job, a tougher deal to handle. I think it won't be that easy for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins won't score many points on the Steelers. That's just my opinion. And Steelers on the other side are always good for big plays, so I just trust the Steelers. They have more to to go along with. They can beat them in different ways, since the Dolphins should, punt a lot and won't score much. So the Steelers will get the opportunities to score, and I think they will take advantage of some. Should be a low-scoring ball game though. Colts against Bengals. Why should the Colts win that one? Yeah, they got the offense, but I believe the Bengals will come out on top since they're more clutch. So you saw them beat the Chargers last week, and the Colts only beat the Titans in the last month, I believe. They didn't beat any other team, and now they benched Trent Richardson. So you look at what they got. They got Brown, but they really don't have a ground game right now. So it's easy to game plan against. Both teams will score points. It should be a very close one. But again, I think like AJ Green should have a great day against Vontae Davis, and overall, you also can throw to your tight ends in Gresham and Alford, and I think this Bengals offense can actually keep pace with the Colts defense, so it's basically tied. And you look at the Bengals defense being just way better than the Colts defense. If you eliminate the pressure the Colts bring at some points of the game, if you can slow down their pass rush, and that is what definitely the Bengals will be able to do with the screen game, with Bernard and the quick pass to the running backs. I just think the Bengals will out game plan the Colts defense, and the Colts defense again should look terrible on the road. Browns against Patriots, 100% Patriots here. The Browns defense has had a huge letdown, and if the Browns don't come up with some surprise ground game to force the Patriots into, less time of possession, so they can keep it a low-scoring ball game, they won't have a chance in this ball game. And I believe that will be the case. Josh Gordon could get 300 yards and break the receiving record. They still wouldn't win. This gotta be very disappointing for some Browns players. I'm sorry, and sick again this week. And the Patriots are just a huge matchup right now. Even the Patriots have home field advantage, so the Browns, they're almost out of this game. They shouldn't even really attempt this game. I believe they're just a huge underdog, and you never ever should go with the Browns in this one, since the best part of their team, the defense that always kept the offense in games, has had a huge letdown over the last 2 weeks. So you have kind of nothing to hope for if you're a Browns fan in this game, because how are you gonna stop Tom Brady? It's just crazy. You could talk about disadvantages for the Browns all day long. And next we got the Oakland Raiders against the New York Jets, and ultimately, you look at the quarterback play, and I believe everything is better than what Jets got at quarterback right now. Even the Oakland Raiders, they had a bad game, bad quarterback play game against Dallas, but before that, Matt McClellan pretty much played good football. And, also they got McFadden basically back. He will get better, and still got Jennings. So, they have something to work with. I really, on the Jets side, he only played great against the Saints, and, his old team. He had something to play for. Right now, it looks like this Jets offense can't get it going at all. But, it starts with the quarterback, and they have really big problems right there. I can't explain what is happening to them. The Jets defense should do a good job, keeping them in the game. It will be probably a terrible game to watch, but I believe the Raiders, they're just more clutch on offense, better on offense to win that ball game. Really should be a terrible game to watch, in my opinion. Vikings against Ravens. You look at everybody who plays the Vikings has to key on Adrian Peterson, obviously. All they just cracked the 10k yard mark, and he had over 200 last week. So what the Ravens gotta do, obviously, is stop the run, but they can do a good job playing the run on the way to the quarterback as well. You gotta be careful doing that against AP though. But I think for the Vikings defense, it will be a tough day, I believe. If the Ravens call a balanced game, like running the football and throwing it like Torrey Smith, especially, he could have a monster day against this Vikings secondary, I believe. So if the weather plays, not the biggest role, if they have, good weather conditions. We don't know yet, obviously, but I believe this game should go to the Ravens' favor. Their offense should be balanced. If they call a balanced game, have a good game plan. They struggled all year with that, but the Vikings defense is basically terrible. So you can do some things and even get away with some bad play callings. So I believe the Ravens actually will win this one because they still have something to play for, and the Vikings are basically out of the race. The Titans and the Broncos, that's the next game we're going to look at, and it's going to be a real quick look at because the Broncos are 100% favorites in this game. The Broncos are a way better team than the Titans are. The Titans play different football without Jake Locker. He's obviously key to that team. Delaney Walker got hurt. Huge loss for them. He was, a growing piece of this offense. He really was important to them. They gave Jared Cook away. I mean, you know, at the beginning of the season, the Titans are not playing good football right now. They're missing pieces on offense, and the defense never has been that good. And the Broncos are just overall way better, and they got home field advantage, and and they're the team, to want to get that #1 spot in the AFC. So Broncos 100% victory in my opinion here. Rams against Cardinals, that's an open matchup. I mean, both teams are great defensive play teams, both have outstanding defenses, very similar, but on offense, I believe the Cardinals are really a deep threat team, which St. Louis is totally different. That they're short to intermediate, run, check down out of, throw to your running back out of the backfield, check down throws, quick throws, screen game, trick plays. The Cardinals are really the team that mixes up change of pace kind of stuff, throwing it deep, speed run thing. The Cardinals the offenses are different, but the defense is actually the same. So you gotta wonder what will work. I believe the Cardinals defense definitely will work against this Rams offense, in my opinion. They will keep everything in front of them and actually can contain this Rams team. I also think they will be able to slow down Zach Stacy, who has done a great job so far this year. I believe the Rams on offense won't make enough plays on the road to beat this Cardinals team. The Cardinals should come out on top, in my opinion, in this one. And next up we got the Seattle Seahawks on the road at San Francisco. It could be rematch time for San Francisco. You remember week 1, they got blown out by the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously at Seattle, but I don't think it will be rematch time. The 49ers should be up, but I believe the Seahawks will bounce back. It's not a game where you go, like, okay, that's the favorite, let's go with the favorite. No, I almost went with the 49ers, to be honest, but I believe if they would have to catch up, or when they have to go air it out, go spread formation, put together a quick 2-minute drive or so, they won't be able to do that against the Seahawks. They can beat them if they run it and a game plan the entire game, play their game plan, then they have a chance against the Seahawks. But whenever you come out of your natural style of offense, the Seahawks, they will stop you. They have a great defense, and this offense is tough to even stop. I mean, you can't game plan because they have a lot of weapons, and it's a tough defense, a tough offense to game plan against. You just gotta play your game. The 49ers can do that, and they can win, but I believe in the end the Seahawks will come out on top. Giants against the Chargers. Giants have a pretty good chance in this one as well, but I'm going with the Chargers since they have basically more talent. This offense has a lot of firepower. You look at Phillip Rivers, Keenan Allen, newfound #1 wide receiver. Still Antonio Gates and Ladarius Green, the other tight end. So they got basically a lot of weapons, along with the 2 great running backs. They can throw to the backfield and run it with. So you see, they got the options, but much like the Cowboys, they're very inconsistent with their offensive play, and that's what has hurt them. I'm sorry, but the Giants, on the other side, they struggled, early of the season, but right now, still, they're not a very explosive offense. So I believe the Chargers, even with struggles, will score enough points to beat the Giants in this one. The Chargers also have improved their O-line. I think Giants won't have much success pressuring Phillip Rivers, and it's just like I believe the Giants won't do a very good job, and the Chargers won't do it, either. But it will be enough for the Chargers to just be able to get the victory against the Giants here. And Sunday night we got Panthers against Saints. Great ball game here, folks. You gotta go with the Saints, in my opinion. I absolutely love the Panthers, and I think this could be an outstanding ball game, to watch. But it's home field advantage for the Saints, and actually, if they lose it, the Panthers really could win out the season. If they win that one, they really could win out the season, in my opinion. I don't think it will happen because the Saints still are a really, really tough home team. That's just a home field advantage like the Seahawks have, if there is one. And for the Saints, I believe the screen game, I believe this is one part of their offense that can work against this Panthers defense. They got a game plan basically for Luke Kuechly, try to get blocks on him, and keep him busy with Jimmy Graham, so you can get the screen game going, because he has to kind of look where these guys are going in the backfield. The wide receivers, they have a lot of weapons, to keep that Panthers defense busy and on their heels, basically, because the secondary isn't that great, so you can't match them up one-on-one. I believe the Saints have good matchups and will take care of that. You just gotta make sure they avoid early turnovers like this week. You know, it happened this week. So I believe the Saints definitely can win that one, because they also match up well against the run, since they're a heavy blitzing team, you know. A lot of analyzes you can put on that game. I believe the Saints match up well, but still you can't see the Panthers win that one, because they have so much talent and just make things happen. It should be an awesome game to watch, but you gotta go with the Saints in my opinion. And at Monday Night Football, we got the Cowboys against the Bears. It's at Chicago, and it's a great game because two very similar teams. Both teams are very desperate to make the playoffs. Cowboys actually got a 2-game winning streak already. Make it 3. That would be their first time in like, what, 5 years? Two very inconsistent teams. You look at both O-lines have key roles in this ball game. I believe the Bears O-line can get enough blocking against this Cowboys defense. Even without John Lee, the Cowboys should be able to stop the run. I don't think that, you know, sluggish Bears run D will be able to stop DeMarco Murray. On the other side, you know, Bears physical corners could match up with Des Bryant. You gotta look for that matchup though, but you know, the depth at the Cowboys receiving core will keep the Bears busy. You will face a lot of zone. Tony Romo is obviously a good quarterback, and he wants to bounce back from that terrible 5-turnover game, I believe, where he cost the Cowboys the victory last season. You know, that was week 4 or so. But you know, he has something to make up for. And you know, on the other side, the Bears team really got worse. You know, if it's about comparing what they had before, you know, I mean, they have a lot of talent, young talent right now, but they're not making plays. They're not, you know, playing good run defense. Overall, their defense just basically has a letdown, you know, a down year, you wanna say. For the Cowboys, I look for them to take advantage of what they get, and obviously, you know, it's still about turnovers here. You gotta make sure you avoid these, but I believe the Cowboys, you know, you can trust them more in that one to make it basically 3 in a row. You know, it sounds scary because the Cowboys rarely did that before, but I want to go with the Cowboys here because I believe they can make it happen. So that's it for this week, and so here you see all my picks. I hope you agree, maybe disagree with some, you know, share your thoughts on my picks. Let me know in the comment section. Make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see all you next week. Bye.